Here's Chief Investigative Reporter Tony Kovaleski.
Thank you for joining us. For the next 30 minutes, we investigate, exposing issues, uncovering corruption, and holding the powerful accountable. We begin with an investigation that exposed major problems with one of the nation's largest food distributors.
Normal protocols were not followed.
What's that mean?
That means that preferential treatment was given to Alden Smith.
For getting involved, were you retaliated against?
Oh, absolutely.
How many of you believe, show of hands now, you've been retaliated against for trying to do the right thing?
I have.
Absolutely.
I have. Several times.
All 9 of you.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Product that was contaminated with mice feces was resold.
Mice feces, dead mice, nests, urine, hairs, sifted out, repackage it
Occasionally or all the time?
all the time.
You've been asked by lawmakers to step down. Lawmakers have said you should be fired. Should you be fired, sir? Will you step down?
They don't have the authority.
You poor son of a bitch. You got a job to do,
Sir,
but it's pathetic that what you're doing.
Sir, shouldn't you answer to lawmakers when they want to talk to you? What's the message you sent tonight by coming here?
Good night.
Do you want to explain to us?
Good night.
Mr. Roth?
How you doing?
Tony Kovaleski with NBC Bay Area.
How you doing, Tony?
As you know, we've been trying to talk to you about how you're spending ratepayer money. Long hours and questionable working conditions for kids and teenagers earning money in the fields of Central California. Last year, investigative reporter Stephen Stock exposed the problems. Now, reaction from Washington, D.C. Mr. Battistella, do you think when you file for $10 million in bankruptcy protection, that's the right thing to do? Will you explain? Will you explain? Sir, please stay away from him. Please don't touch the camera. Please don't push me, sir. Excuse me. Mr. Battistella, what do you say to the people who want to know where their money is? Can you say where the money is, sir? General Baldwin? Tony Kovaleski with NBC Bay Area. How are you? Do you have a few minutes to talk to us?
As we walk down to the hotel.
Members of his leadership team have said for several months, Adjutant General David Baldwin has a great story to tell. I'd like to have your answers to questions that were brought up by members of your guard. Did you ever expect to see Ron Battistella in handcuffs in a jail jumpsuit?
There was a time that, I would say that I lost hope. I thought he might get away with it. Both want to keep their jobs. They asked us to disguise their identities.
Can you get fired for sitting in front of our camera?
Yes.
The successful cyber attacks of Sony, Target, and Home Depot have certainly resonated with lawmakers here in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. But so far, significant change to cybersecurity has run into a bit of a government roadblock, with lawmakers struggling to understand how much change private industry and the American people are willing to accept. Has government done enough?
No.
You answered that fast.
Yes, because they haven't.
You probably recall that deadly limo fire on the San Mateo Bridge earlier this year. Now the investigative unit digs deeper. The issue, are Bay Area limos getting properly inspected? Watch as we found some companies not playing by the rules, dodging safety inspections by underreporting critical information. Investigative reporter Elise Kirshner takes us undercover. A letter to a congresswoman about a pretty critical incident. Filled with truth?
Filled with myth. It's filled with credit where credit is not due.
Ratepayers have a right to know how you're spending their money, don't they? Which brings us back to that critical question and the answer from San Jose Water's highest paid executive. Why is it a secret, Mr. Roth?
It's not a secret.
Well, but then you're not providing it. We've asked for the records. If there's nothing to hide, why not give them to us?
Because we don't have to, Tony. It's our legal right.
Explain to us why the PUC should pay for you to fly to and from Los Angeles, your home.
I'm headquartered in Los Angeles. Mr. Kovaleski, you are an extremely difficult person.
Chief, in your decades of experience, have you ever seen anything like you found in California?
No. I never found that many people who weren't getting resolution.
I just can't believe that the huge chain of command can't take care of people.
They like to keep this a dirty little secret. They like to keep it in the closet with the other skeletons. But now the skeletons are starting to spill out.
We've asked to sit down with you. We didn't want to meet you on a street like this. Why have you avoided answering our questions?
Because I found your journalistic ethics to be completely substandard.
And about an hour later, published reports show the 49ers All-Pro linebacker was back on the practice field.
So did Aldon Smith get the star treatment on that Friday morning?
Yes, he certainly did.
Would the average person be allowed to leave after just a couple hours?
No.
Did Aldon Smith receive preferential treatment?
Aldon Smith did not receive preferential treatment.
Here's the issue, Raj Jess. Are the executives at VTA responsibly managing our tax dollars? Our investigation has found VTA, by all indications, ignoring a system failure and choosing not to fix a problem that's costing it more than $1 million each year.
And at that same substation, we found this open gate, and later, a PG&E employee
Hi there.
answered our questions.
We're just really curious about the facility. Is there anybody here on site?
It's not a manned. It used to be manned, but it's not anymore.
No security?
Yeah, there's security. There's cameras all around there.
But nobody on site?
No.
Okay.
He looked at me and touched me and said, "How do you want to better your grade?"
She's asked us to disguise her identity because she still attends San Jose State.
My body just completely shut down.
He accepted free travel to some of the world's most exotic locations. Problem is, he's president of one of the most powerful regulatory agencies in the state. You pay him to oversee utilities like PG&E. $165,000 in gifts and free travel. It's all legal, but we ask, is it ethical?
And remember, the arrest report shows Aldon Smith was booked at 9:40. We called Sheriff Smith asking to confirm the time of his release. She left a voicemail message.
You told me on the voicemail that he was released about 11:20 in the morning.
If that's what I told you and your sources inside the jail that are talking to you, that are providing you information, that I don't know independently right now. That was weeks ago.
Would you like to hear the voicemail?
No, I would not.
So you're getting into a $70,000 Audi that ratepayers paid for. Shouldn't they get to find out what else they're buying?
Sure.
So provide us the records we've asked for. Let us come over to San Jose Water right now and get your expense reports of the past 3 years.
It's not going to happen, Tony.
Why not?
Because it's not relevant to what you're to the rate increase. And we're a private company, and we don't have to. It's the law, and you want to abrogate the law. You want special privileges.
You're a private company, but a public utility, sir.
It's widespread. Within quite a bit of the product, it's everywhere.
He's talking about the secrets inside these concrete walls.
Why are you sitting there now?
As a person, I can't bear this anymore. Somebody has to stop what they're doing, stop what their process is, because this isn't right.
Tony Kovaleski from NBC Bay Area. Can you explain to us why you decided to surrender your license to the Bureau?
We met Mr. Peavy outside the winery.
What's the message you sent by coming here to Napa instead of going to speak to the Senate?
You're very antagonistic, and you're reading a script.
Sir, I'm not reading a script. I want to know. I want to give you an opportunity to respond.
But your questions are wrong questions.
Do you think PG&E has done enough now to prevent another Metcalf attack?
We are working every day to make sure it never happens again, Tony.
If guys are trained like you, what could be done? How long would it take?
Metcalf could be repeated across all the sites that you showed me in less than 15 minutes.
When he did not return our emails and calls, we met him on campus after class.
I want to hear your side of the story. What happened that night? Did you make a mistake?
Well, unfortunately, because of what I was told by both HR and SJ, the PD here, I'm actually not allowed to talk about it.
I just want it to stop. Because I just want it to stop.
We gave you every opportunity, sir, to answer it. We gave you every opportunity to answer it, and you avoided our questions. Will you sit down with us, sir?
He's here for a retirement ceremony. Can you please go outside? Thank you.
California is one of only 5 states allowing this activity, boating without training. You can be as young as 12 and control the steering wheel of a boat without a single hour of boater education or a single day at a safety course. Here's investigative reporter Elise Kirshner. Do you want to explain to your investors if they're going to get their money back? Do you want to say anything, sir?
Sorry.
Mr. Coyle, don't your investors deserve some sort of answer? You've surrendered your license. They want to know why. Will you explain? A terrible mistake in how I handled that situation. Email to her said, you came to the conclusion you made a terrible mistake. Right. Did you? Shooting and stabbings. Will they be more of a priority in the future in Alameda County?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question.
You're going to make changes because of the questions we've asked.
Yes.
Medic 2101.
We thank you for watching. You're invited to join us regularly right here on NBC Bay Area. The reason why? Because we investigate.